Hello Alchemist, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Heal, Feel, Reveal series. In this episode, we are going to be, in this lesson, we are going to be talking about visualizing and getting lost in your fantasy world. So if you're new to this series is about doing the inner work and doing the outer work and bringing the two together so that you can truly create the dream life you've always desired. And I'm really excited about today's topic because I feel like it really pinpoints what this entire series is about and what we're trying to do, what we're trying to truly create for ourselves. If you have not already, make sure you hit that like, subscribe to support the channel, and also check out my other videos. Check out my Monday motivation videos. I started a new series called Healing Relationships that I'm really excited about, so check that out as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the visualizing. So I really felt called to, and I will upload this 2 weeks after I've recorded this. I've really felt called towards doing a lot of visualization. If you've checked out my lesson 13 on momentum, I talk about how life has different modes of speed. There's the fast momentum, where you're doing a lot often. You're doing a lot, you're thinking a lot, there's a lot going on in life, and you're just following that path. Then there's the slow-paced momentum where things are kind of slowing down. And that's usually moments for you to be a lot more present. So life is calling you to be more present, slow down, get more involved into your self-care routine, do creative projects that you really enjoy. And then there's the fast-paced negative momentum as well, which we're not really going to talk about that today. But fast-paced negative momentum is when there's a domino effect of sort of negative things happening in your life. That's also calling for you to slow down. Today we're going to talk about the slow momentum. So when life is slowing down, you have more free time. This is a perfect period for you to take time to start visualizing. Now, visualizing is so important if you want to create a new experience for yourself and you want to get the dream life, get the dream career. You're going to have to practice either imagining the experience or hearing the words or visualizing the experience. You're going to have to practice doing that, because if there's one thing I've learned, if you can see the idea, the vision, the visionary, the creativity, the creative idea in your mind, then you can experience it. And this is something I've learned is absolutely real. If you imagine yourself doing something over and over and over and over and over again, eventually you're going to be doing it, especially if you initiate it and you initiate the project of creating it and you build your skills towards doing it. So your imagination is a very powerful tool. I don't remember which book it was. I will go ahead and link it here. It's the book that everyone reads. It's not the Get Rich one. It's the other one. That everybody reads. Everybody knows this book. But in it, they talked about imagination. And I remember when I was listening to the audiobook, when I heard that chapter, it really stuck with me, because I think imagination is probably one of the most important components to manifesting your desires. Now, sometimes you don't need to know all of the details of your desires, your manifestation. You can still bring it into fruition. However, the fantasy is the visionary aspect of it. So you have to visualize something that isn't there before it can become a reality, because you have to align yourself with getting comfortable with the fact that you're going to receive this thing in order for it to come. So what I'll do sometimes is I will just take a moment and I'll just focus on one area of my life that I want to manifest, something I want to build and create. And what I used to do is I used to kind of imagine myself in floating in space, and I would have the thing in front of me. I would build it in my fantasy world. So let's say I want more financial abundance. Then I would just imagine a money tree growing and growing and growing. And I'm creating this money tree with my mind. So that's something that you can do. But another, I think, much more powerful way to visualize and fantasize is you have to do it from your perspective. So as I often have a habit of fantasizing and visualizing from the bird's eye view. So being the writer of the story. So I'm created a character, me, and I'm experiencing all these things. What will bring to your manifestation quicker is you have to visualize it and imagine it from your perspective. So if you imagine it from your perspective, Now you're the character. And guess what? You get to experience those feelings. So make sure you practice feeling the feelings of receiving those honors from your perspective. You can't be outside of your body watching yourself receive the thing. Be in your body, because your body is one of the most important tools to manifesting. So I always say, yes, sometimes, yes, it's tough to be human because of the gravity of life and the heaviness of emotions and struggles and pain. However, it's also a gift, because without a body, you wouldn't be able to manifest anything into this world and create anything into this world. So you have to get in touch with feeling emotions, and feeling emotions that are aligned with your desire. So the more you can raise your vibration. Why is it important to raise our vibration? Is because it gets us on that higher frequency of aligning with our desire. We can get it quicker, because when we say yes, the universe says yes too. It just mirrors back to us exactly what we desire, and it gives it to us. When we say no, we can't do it, the universe says no, you can't do it, and it holds it back. So you have to say yes in your imagination. So make sure, one, you visualize and you fantasize from your perspective. You're the character experiencing all of these things that you desire. Really take the time to fantasize. So fantasy and imagination is something we don't often give a lot of credit to, because we're like, what? Imagination? No, you got to go make money. You have to pay the bills. You have to be practical about taking care of things. But the one thing that I realized is one of my gifts, and a lot of artists' gifts, is that we are visionaries. Every single one of us. We're natural visionaries. I was always lost in my imagination when I was a kid, but I was always imagining I was playing different characters, or I was creating different characters in my head. This allowed me to just get in touch with generating and creating things out of nothing. Where I'm at in my life now is I realize I can actually manifest anything. I can bring anything into fruition just by imagining it. But what I've been lost in is disconnecting. So another tip I want to tell you guys is don't separate fantasy from reality. So the thing is, I would always say, okay, I can create characters, I can build things in my fantasy mind, but it just stays there. It doesn't become reality. So if you create fantasy and you separate it from reality, they can't come together. You have to open it up so that they become one and the same. Make sure, if you are fantasizing, try to fantasize maybe your present and your current life, and then how you build up the momentum to receive the thing. Let's just say you imagine something just pops into your life randomly all at once. Imagine it happening, the windfall, whatever it is. Just imagine a windfall. Imagine the blessings coming into your life. And it's powerful. So I'm going to share with you guys, this is actually pretty crazy. But the other day I was just visualizing. Let me backtrack. You know how I made the manifesting your desires video about the computer? Right? I did that just for kicks, because I do want a new computer, but I'm like, I didn't really want it that bad. So I haven't really been trying to manifest a new computer. I'm just like, well, I have the money to buy it. I could buy it at any time, but I'm the type of person who likes to use my things until I don't need them anymore. So I'm just like, well, I don't really need it, but I would probably like one. It'd be nice to have a new computer. And so I did that, and funny enough, someone offered to give me their computer, and I was just like, and they're just like, you can have it if you want. I'm like, do I need it? I don't know. So I want to tell you guys how it's so easy to manifest, especially the small things. Well, I wouldn't even say the small things. It's easy to manifest anything. You really just have to learn that you can't separate fantasy from reality. You have to bring them together. So if you have to imagine yourself in your current life building up to that windfall, or that magic of that thing happening, then just imagine that happening for you. And don't imagine it as if it's a character. Imagine it as if it's you. You're the one experiencing all of these blessings. But another thing I did was, I was like, I would really like a move. I would like to move into a place that, fulfills more of my desires of what I'm wanting in a home. And I started just imagining, like, okay, like, this is my fantasy home, da-da-da-da-da. And before, the way I manifested this place is I scripted. And it's absolutely powerful. I was very consistent. I created a script, and then I memorized the movie. And then anytime I wanted to drop into the fantasy of being in my own place, right, and the place that I really desired, I would just go back to my movie that I memorized in my mind. So I started creating a new movie, a visual movie of what I wanted and what I desired. And then just last week, someone asked me, hey, would you be interested in this house? And I was just like, what? Like, what are the chances? I was shocked, yes, but at the same time I was not shocked because I had put the time to fantasize about it. So again, we take it for granted that we should fantasize. So this is my next tip. Don't take it for granted. Fantasy and reality can be one and the same if you understand that it's just an experience that you get to create in your mind. So take the time to really just sit. You know, what I will do is I will make a list of the things I want, and then I'll just pick one off of the list, and I'll start to just think and fantasize about it. And before you know it, I'm such a fantasy person, it'll be an hour later, and I'll still be in fantasy world, fantasizing about that thing. And then I'm like, whoa, let me come back to reality. But I'm telling you, the more focus and energy you put into the fantasy, the more it'll become a reality. This is my next tip. Make sure you carve out time to fantasize, right? I actually love to do this when I wake up. I wake up very slowly. It takes me forever to get out of bed. Or when I go to sleep, I would just get lost in my fantasy world of like, what do I desire? What do I want? What do I want to create today? This is my next tip. Make sure you're consistent. So create a consistent movie. Memorize it. So don't memorize a million different versions of your desire. Try to stick to one or two. Sometimes the mind is very finicky, but just stick to one or two versions of that desire coming into your life. Imagine yourself being shocked or surprised and getting that thing. But I'm a weirdo because I'm like an actress, because I'm like, I can like literally pretend in my head all the time, and then it'll happen. And then I realize I'm living the experience I acted out months ago. So you just never know. Now with that, I just want to say that this is such a awesome period in my life. I'm so happy to share this experience with you guys, and I'm really happy. You know, if you're watching this series, this stuff really works. Okay, it really works. I take my own advice, I apply it to my own life, and I've just been elected president of my speech club, which I'm so excited to do. And it's so great because I'm stepping into it with courage, confidence, because I know that the universe has sent this opportunity my way. I've only been a part of the club less than 2 years, and they're already electing me as president. So I would say that's a pretty good sign I'm moving in the right direction. And people are looking to me for advice, and I'm just like, I see all of them as my elders. Like, they're the one giving me advice. They have more experience, but I take, when I go with something, when I'm really passionate about something, I really go and I really commit, because I realize it's so much more important to be fulfilled in life. And fulfillment can mean whatever you want it to be. So please do not limit it to being broke or only having so much money available to you. Oh my gosh, there's so much resources available to us. You just need to become more available to it. So have fun getting lost in your fantasy world. Tend to the garden of your imagination. So just like we tend to our mind, body, spirit, just like we have to tend to our body, make sure we take care of it and feed it and exercise it. Tend to your fantasy life. Your spirit is so happy when you fantasize and you give yourself the desire in your mind before you receive it in physical reality. And tend to your mind. Take the time to peacefully enjoy your fantasies and enjoy what it is you desire. Blessings are knocking at your door. You just need to let them in. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video of the Heal, Feel, Reveal series. This is probably one of my favorite episodes because I realized this is the secret. I am such a good imaginer. I'm such a good fantasy person. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like my specialty. So get used to fantasizing and daydreaming and using your imagination and building your imagination. If you need help, this is my last tip I will share with you guys. If you need help building your imagination, watch movies. See, this is like why I love my parents, love my dad. We watched so much movies together, and that's why my imagination is so powerful, because my dad is a movie fanatic and he's a music fanatic and he is a pop culture fanatic. And so I learned to fantasize about things that are beyond my life or beyond, I guess, beyond the simplicity. I don't know what to say, just beyond. I've learned to imagine beyond, thanks to my dad, thanks to having all those experiences with him, and thanks to my mother's beautiful, incredible creativity that she's always made available to me. Watch movies, go on Pinterest, go on the internet, go on YouTube. I personally don't care. I do not care to watch vlogs because I'm like, I don't really care about how everyone's living their life. I just want to get to the thing. Like, and my thing is what other people aren't often doing. because, yeah. My fantasy involves more creativity. I like creating art, building art, but I don't have to watch people create art to feel inspired to create art. I just want to create art. So, yeah, that's it. Anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day or evening. Please be back for another episode. Hit the like, subscribe to support the channel. Check out the other videos, the other lessons in this Heal, Feel, Reveal series. Check out my motivation videos, and also check out my new series, Healing Relationships. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or evening. Bye.